Hey guys, Brian with zen.passion.adventure here, and what I want to do for you today is show you how to complete a solar plan for permit, how to both design and draft a full solar plan for permit without knowing solar before, or if you're new to solar, or say you're want to have solar on your house and you want to know how to design the project and to draft the project so you can take it to the city, the plan to the city to get a permit. So this is in California. If you're in another state, results may vary, but I think the template is very much the same and the laws are very much the same. We're dealing with National Electric Code 690. NEC 690 is National Electric Code for photovoltaic. So what I want to do is, in the first video, I want to show you how many panels do you need? How big does your system size need to be? And panel choice and equipment choice. So that's what I want to do for you in the first video. The second video is how to set up the project, taking screenshots of satellite views, vicinity views, getting your APN and all the information about the house, get it all set up. And then number 3 is actually drafting the plan, and I'm going to take you step by step, page through page of the plan that I have. And so it should be about 7 or 8 videos, and hopefully this is a great instructional video for you. I don't see any other videos out there on YouTube about it, and so I want to teach you how to do it right, and that's it. Hope this helps you guys a lot, and feel free to contact me if I might be able to help you further, or if I might be able to answer any questions. Have a great day. Okay, welcome everybody. And today I'm going to teach you how to design and draft a solar project for permit. I have a little PowerPoint here. First I'll go through the PowerPoint, and then we will go through the project. I have some training actions step by step of how to do it, and I'm sure there's probably a better way to do it, but I just wanted to show everybody the way that I do it, and possibly you could give me some critique, but this is mainly for somebody that doesn't know too much about solar or knows very little and wants to get into solar, maybe doing it as a job, or say you want to put solar on your home. I want this to be able to be an instructional video for you to be able to do that, to design the project and draft it and bring it in for permit and get the permit for installation of your solar project. Okay, let's get started. Setting up the solar project. First step is to set up the solar project. And what will you need? First of all, you'll need a 2D drafting program. I happen to use DraftSite. There seem to be a lot of other programs out there, AutoCAD, other 2D programs. You will need a 2-dimensional drafting program, and if you can find templates, it will be a lot better. There's a lot of templates out there of a plan set for the city for construction plans. If you do not have a template, feel free to contact me, and I'll do the best I can at contacting you back and get you a template for doing your plan sets. Okay, second thing you'll need is Google Maps or google.com. You will need the internet for a brief period of time just to set up the project. With the Google Maps, you'll be taking snapshots of the vicinity of the neighborhood of the home, and the city likes to see the vicinity. And then you will also be taking a snapshot, a screenshot of the satellite view of the home with a scalable line. I'll teach you how to do that. Third thing you'll need is Zillow.com. Zillow.com is public information about the home, and it has things like square footage of the home, lot size of the property, APN number. Those are the 3 primary things we need from Zillow.com about the home. And so also with Google.com, you'll be getting data sheets for each piece of equipment, the solar panels, a box called the inverter. It changes electricity from direct current of the solar panels to alternating current, 110 AC alternating current that you use in your home. And you'll get attachments to attach the solar onto the roof, and then you will need the data sheet for the rails that goes onto the attachment, and then you put the solar panels on the rails. So each of these data sheets you will need to get in JPEG format. A lot of them, if you search, you need to Google the model number of each piece of equipment, and you will probably download a PDF version of the data sheet, but then you will need to go into Paint and take a screenshot, or ilovepdf.com. ilovepdf.com is one thing I forgot to put on here, but it allows you to manipulate PDFs, so you can turn a PDF into a JPEG with high quality. You won't sacrifice any quality. Also, you can compress files with ilovepdf.com, and you can also merge files, which we will be doing. So ilovepdf.com is another item that you may or may not need. And then you also need the address of the city or county having authority. Typically, this is your civic center. You will need to bring the plans into the city to have them approve the permit for you to do the construction on your property. So next, the checklist. This is still setting up the project. You'll need to, this is my checklist list that I use, and if you'll see, I draft out the home, or I have my client draft out the home and tell me where on the property the main service panel is. That's the biggest thing, so that I can, it can be a hand sketch, it can just be a quick hand sketch. I just need to know where the electric service panel is. And then here we have the owner name, the owner address, owner phone number, and optional owner email. If you work for a contractor, or if you're going to have a contractor do the project, do the installation, you will need to put that on the plans. Name, license, address, phone number, and possibly email of the contractor. You'll need to know the roof type. Is it a composite roof, shingle? Is it a clay tile? Is it a concrete tile? Is it a metal roof? There's a lot of different roof types. Okay, you'll need to know the tilt of the roof. Typical tilt angle is anywhere between 15 degrees to 20 to even 30 and 45 degree tilt angle. So tilt angle is very important. They like to know that. The azimuth, this is the compass direction of which way the roof faces. And you want the tilt and azimuth of each roof that is getting the solar. So I have three options here. There may be more, there may be less. So rafter size and spacing, typical is either 2x4, and the spacing is 24 inches on center. These are the rafters that you will lag into or bolt the attachments into. You're going to bolt those attachments into those rafters, and we need to know the spacing. Another typical size is 2x6 at 24 inches on center. Sometimes they're 15, sometimes they're 18 inches on center. They do vary, so it helps to know the rafter size and the spacing so you can place the attachments. Part of the plan is doing the equipment structural plan, and you will need to know this information to build that. System information. What's the panel module model number? Who is the manufacturer and how many modules? The inverter, you need to know the manufacturer of the inverter, the model number of the inverter, and how many inverters. Are you doing one big box inverter, collecting all of the power into one big box, or are you using micro inverters? Both of these, typically you're going to use a grid tied inverter. This means you're tying into the main service electricity of your home that is existing already. So very few people have off-grid systems, but they do exist. And For that, you'll need to know the batteries, make and model as well. But let's just do grid tied inverter. And then you'll need to know the standoff attachment. This is the attachment going into the rafter, the manufacturer and model number of the attachment that you're using, and then finally the rail which the panels sit on. You'll need to know the manufacturer and model number or information about the rail, the data sheet, and any other data sheets of the equipment. Sometimes the city requires the data sheet for the AC disconnect. This is the alternating current disconnect. This is a big switch right next to the main service panel that the fire department requires on each project to be able to turn off the electricity if they're in an emergency situation. So sometimes they like to have that data sheet. Sometimes they like to have data sheets of the sub panels. If you have battery backup system, they like to have those data sheets as well. So electrical information. This is about the main service panel, MSP. The location marked with an X on the roof, as we did. And is it inside the home or outside the home? They like to know that. The main circuit breaker, the big breaker at the top of the main service panel. And the bus. The bus is the big metal bar going down. They don't like to know the rating of the big circuit breaker at the top or bottom. Sometimes the circuit breaker is in the middle, but the large circuit breaker could be 100 amp, could be 125 amp, could be 200, could be 400. These are typical main circuit breaker sizing. And the bus rating, what is that metal bar rated? Inverter location, is it going to be next to the main service panel? And the AC disconnect location, is that also typically next to the main service panel? Okay, let's move on. This is the checklist. I provide this to my clients. It does not need to be completely filled out in order for me to do a solar project. Sometimes all I need is an address in order to do a solar project and an energy bill, and they ask me to go ahead and design how many panels they need and which roof to go on, and just do the full plan set just from an address. I have done that before, so I actually just recently did one. And so this is the checklist. This is all I need to do a solar project. If I have most of this information filled out, the better. More information, the better. So let's move on. Okay, this is the online preparation. First, in order to set up the project, we need to create a project folder. I typically copy it from an existing project that I've done. This is with the template and all the JPEG files that I'm going to need. You'll see in a second. I'll search for the home in Google. So I'll take the address and search for it in Google. I'll take a screenshot of the vicinity from Google Maps, and then I'll crop it to make it nice to be able to put anywhere in my plan set. And then I'll also take a screenshot of the roof satellite view from Google Maps. And in this satellite view, I need to right mouse button click, and I need to draw a scaling line. And the command is right mouse button click, measure distance within Google Maps. Now if you're outside the United States, typically it draws this line in meters. If you're inside the United States, typically it draws the line in feet, you will notice. So, and then I crop that picture nicely so I can have a baseline to scale my drafting with, so I can bring it into my drafting correctly and draw it to scale. And then finally I need a screenshot of the Zillow page. Again, it has the parcel number, the square foot, and a lot. The city likes to see those. And no need to crop this page because we are not going to be using it in the project on the actual plan set. We just need it for information purposes. And then finally, to this folder, we will add all the equipment data sheets, the panel modules, the inverters, microinverters, or large box inverter. We have to decide which one we want. The attachments and rail, as we went over before. So this is my preparation for the project. You'll see how I do that in in a second here. Then after I prepare the project, I can now go offline. Notice the preparation is online. This maybe take me 15 minutes to complete, but I'm pretty fast too, so it might, if you're doing it for the first time, it might take you longer. So it might take me 15 minutes to complete this part of the project. And then next, the first 3 pages I do offline. I can now turn off my internet if I want, and I go into the first sheet. The first sheet is the title sheet, second sheet is the equipment plan, third sheet is the electrical wiring diagram. These are going to be the main sheets that you will spend the most time on designing. See, the title sheet has the overall map or plot of the project of the house. Second sheet has the equipment plan, all the structural details, and the third is the electrical wiring and all the calculations, wire size you need, what breaker you need at the box, and so on. So it has, I typically use a single line diagram showing just one line for all of the electrical wires. Some cities require a 3-line diagram. They want to see positive, negative on the DC side and ground, or if you're on the AC side, L1, L2, neutral, and ground. So, and it also has a bill of materials on here of what the contractor might need to purchase. So these are the first 3 pages. I typically go through them, change all the information, and design the project. The next few pages are all the data sheets. All I do there is change the customer information, the address, the name, and I swap out the JPEGs to be the data sheets of the pertinent data sheets for the project. So module data sheet, inverter data sheet goes on page 5, page 6 is the attachment data sheet, page 7 is a rail data sheet. And then finally, the final page is warning placards. These are warning signs that go around the property, sometimes on the roof, sometimes at the electrical equipment, warning about the electric voltage and shock danger. And so a lot of cities require them, and they require different ones. Some cities require different ones than others. Some don't require too many at all. So, but we'll go through it, and you'll see what I mean. The end. So now let's go through the project. I'll show you what a project looks like here. Let's go through a project here. Okay. So this is a project I just completed, and this is what it looks like from afar. So first page is that plot plan, the title sheet, all the information about the project. Second page is the structural equipment plan, all the details, structural details, how it looks on the property, all the rafters, the attachment points, the rails, and there's a structural calculation here. Third page is the electrical diagram. All the solar panels collect all the electricity, go into the inverter if you're using one big box inverter, or if you're using microinverters, there's going to be one inverter per panel. And then it goes through there, and it comes in direct current power, it comes out alternating current, and then it goes through this switch box. This is the AC utility disconnect. This is that switch that required by the fire department that I told you about, and then it goes into the main service panel of the property. So these are the first 3 pages. These are the pages that you do most of the work on or consume most of your time. And there's also some electrical calculations here. And then page 4 through 8, this is the data sheet for the module, data sheet for the inverter, data sheet for the attachment, data sheet for the rail, and finally the warning placards. So this is an owner build project. If you are working for a contractor, this is where I put the contractor information, and I might put their icon right here, so just a picture of just to promote their business. Okay, this is what a full solar plan looks like. Now I will take you step by step into completing, designing, and drafting this. Okay, so this is a checklist that we will be using for our hypothetical project. We have an owner build. His name's John Doe, and he lives at this address. This is his phone number. He will not be using an installer. He was going to build it himself. Or a lot of what the owner builders do is they just get the plan set, and then they can take it to any contractor that they like. Sometimes they don't like to have the contractor's name on the plans because they like to bid it out. So, but if you are you just want to do a solar project by yourself, you would probably just put owner builder in there for the contractor's information. Okay, home type, it is a composite type roof, 20-degree tilt. Azimuth is facing 170 degrees southeast. The rafter size is 2x6 at 24 inches on center. The module that they want is LG 300 watt. That's the model number. They want 28 of them. They want a Sunny Boy SMA America inverter, 8,000 watts, so SB 8000 TLUS. They want a quick mount QMSC for composite, a composite attachment for the composite roof. And then they want a rail named Unirac. That's the brand name of rail. Okay, and then electrical information about the project. Main service panel location. They just used words here. A lot better than words is a picture. If I can get a picture from my client, it is a lot better than using words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Show me what you want me to do versus tell me. But this is good. Left-hand side of the home if looking at home from the street. Okay, I might be able to figure that out. Okay, main service panel location, interior or exterior. It is exterior of the home. Main service panel rating, it should be main circuit breaker rating, is 200 amps, and then the bus rating of that metal bar in the panel is 200 amps. They want the inverter located next to the AC disconnect and the main service panel, and they want the AC disconnect located next to the main service panel. This is typically a requirement that by the city that they want the AC disconnect within viewable distance of the main service panel. So typically they just put it right next to the main service panel. So this is our solar checklist. This is the checklist that I receive when I do a new project for my client. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I download it from my email, and then I start a new folder, John Doe. We can even start it right now. We'll just do Doe. Let me get up I'm going to get up these training actions. These are training actions. These are the exact actions that I take in order to do a project. Okay, setting up the folder. I create a new folder, the name as the customer's last name. So let's do that. Create a new folder, name as the customer's last name. Now I download the data, I copied it, and I have it in here for the checklist. There's my checklist. And the new folder inside the customer folder. So inside this customer folder, I make a new folder, and I use the date as the name of the folder. And typically, this is where I copy an existing project with all the template files and all the JPEGs that I need from an existing project that I've done. And I paste it into this new folder. I do have one like that, so we'll be using this one. This one is very close to the new project that we have. Let's go into the dough folder. I'm going to pin that to my quick access. Get rid of this guy. So I am in the dough folder, and I copied my project folder over, and I am pasting it now. And I'm going to change the name of that folder as the date. Today's date is the 24th. January 24th, 2017. Okay? And then now I go, that's the first 3 steps. Now I go into the folder and I change all previous names to the new customer file names. These are the 3 files that I changed: the options, the layout, the site plan. And I also delete all JPEGs and unnecessary files that I do not need for this project. You'll see BAK files, PDF files, JPEGs, incorrect data sheets, and the roof, vicinity, and Zillow JPEGs of the old project. So I like to do this view as details, view details, and I sort by type. If I sort by type, it shows me all of those backup files, BAK, and I delete the BAK files, the backup files. These are the drawing files that I use. I have 1 drawing file per page for draft site. This is a draft site file. And I also have 3 working files. One of them contains the site plan that goes on that first page. It's an independent file that only contains a drawing of that of the house and the property line. This layout only contains a drawing of what goes on the structural page with the rafters and the attachment points. And then the options folder, or the options file, is my working file. You see what I mean in a second. So we're going to change these names to dough. This is the new dough options. Dough layout, dough options. Oh, we don't want to open it. And the site plan, dough site plan. So these are my drawing files that I use in draft site. Now the JPEGs that I need. This is, sometimes the city requires this JPEG. I typically do not need it on any project. I just like to have it because it does have a calculation if the city requires it. I have my compass rose. This is a JPEG. I will not put it on the project, but I do use it because I put the project satellite view right next to it so I can see which way the roof is facing, so I can get an exact azimuth of which way that roof faces in Google Maps. Google Maps is true north. So, and then I have this is a data sheets. These are data sheets. So these are all data sheets. This is the attachment data sheet. This is the module data sheet. This is the inverter data sheet. This is the Unirac rail data sheet. And okay, so those are the data sheets for the project. I believe we will not need those. So some we will need, I guess. Some we will need. Let's see here. Let's pull up our dough checklist. I'm going to bring my checklist over here so I can access it. Okay. Let me scale that out. Okay, so in this folder, let's go into my project folder. We need LG 300 watt. We have 315 watt in here, so we will need to change that data sheet. We have a Sunny Boy 8000 TL inverter. In here, I believe is Sunny Boy. Does it show 8000 TL? It does not show 8000 TL, so we will need to get a new inverter data sheet. The quick mount data sheet, QMSC, that is what we have in there, so we will keep QMSC. This is the data sheet for the quick mount attachment. We'll keep that in there. And then Unirac rail. This is the data sheet for Unirac rail. Again, all of these data sheets you can get online, PDF format, and then change them into a JPEG. So these are the JPEGs that we do not need are the roof from Debbie, the vicinity from Debbie, and the Zillow from Debbie. We do not need those JPEG files. See, these are JPEG. We're going through the JPEG files right now. So we will delete those. That's from the old project, and we're going to create new ones here. That's in the next step. We will create new JPEGs. And then the old PDFs of the old project. See, each one of these drawing files, PV1 through PV8, we will turn each one of these files into a page, a PDF page. See that? It turns into a page of the PDF, and then at the end of the day, we will merge them all together, and then we will compress them into one draft. You see, that's one draft of the entire project. So this is how I do my projects. So, but this is for the old project, so we will be creating new PDF files with the new customer data. Okay, so we've deleted all the unnecessary files. Now we need to place the data sheets in here that we need. We're actually getting ahead of ourselves. So let's, okay, so we've deleted all the files that we do not need in this project folder. So what's next? We copy the customer's address. We're going to copy the customer's address. We're going to get the vicinity screenshot, the roof screenshot, and the Zillow screenshot right now. So I will copy the customer's address. John Doe, 655 Oak Circle, Pleasanton, California, 94566. Now this is a hypothetical address. This is not who lives there, and this is not a real phone number, but this is just for this solar lesson purposes. So I have Google up, and I will copy and paste that address in Google. This is very typical. First thing you see in Google is the vicinity, the Google Maps. Second thing you see is a Zillow file. Most properties come up in Zillow right here on the first page of Google, but if it does not, you need to go into Zillow and do it independently. Look for a property close to where the property that you're close to your property, and then you have to select within Zillow in order to find it. Some projects are harder than others, but let's just do this project. So we're going to copy the customer's address, get the vicinity screenshot. So let's get the vicinity screenshot. Click into Google Maps. Here's Google Maps. Typically, I like to get a main street. Here's Pleasanton, California. Let's just zoom out, show you where Pleasanton, California is. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area. There's California. It's in San Francisco Bay Area. And typically I like to get a major street or major highway. And so I think this is a good shot of the vicinity. So print screen. I have a print screen button. Sometimes you do control print screen on your computer, but I just hit that print screen button. I open my paint file. So I take a screenshot and I paste it. And then what I do to crop it, I crop it using this function right here, the select function. So I want to make sure I get that major street and surrounding area. I like a rectangle, kind of 4x3, and I copy that, Control C, and I open a new paint file. I do not save. I open a new paint file and I paste it, and then I crop it like that. So this is my vicinity file. This is cropped and cleaned up, and so I will file save as. I will save it in my Doe folder, in my project folder, and I have to save it as a JPEG. DraftSite only accepts JPEG type files. If it is not a JPEG type file, it will not show up in our solar project in our using draft site. Draft site is funny like that. So we will name this the vicinity doe and save it. So now you see we have a vicinity doe. There is our vicinity JPEG. Next, we go back to our internet. I'll close out of Paint for right now, and we need to get the roof screenshot. So we zoom in on the property for doe, and over here we can select, we want to see the satellite view, the Earth satellite view. This is the exact home, and you can actually find out the exact dimensions of the home by right mouse button click, and it brings up some options. At the very bottom it says measure distance. Select measure distance, and now you can just click, and it has a line, and this line has a measurement there. This measurement happens to be 55.36 feet. It usually says it right there, but it will measure a line that is exactly what it says. So this is 11.75 meters or 38.56 feet. So we need that line because it helps us scale our drawing. So I typically zoom in as far as possible so I can see the entire property line, and I take a screenshot, another screenshot, print screen, and I go back to my paint and I paste it, and then I take my select, and I want to make sure I get the entire property line of this property. So I can see the fence there, so I drag it down a little bit further, a little bit to the right. Let's see, there it is. Control C. I start a new paint file, do not save, and here is my JPEG of the roof, nicely cropped and cleaned up. So file, save as JPEG. We're in our doe folder, our doe project folder, and we save it as roof doe. Again, it's very important that we get this line in there, and you'll see why later when we go to scale. So close that. And we now have in our project folder, we have vicinity doe and we have roof doe. So let's get the Zillow screenshot. This is how I get the Zillow screenshot. So again, I go back, or you can just recopy the Control C. You can recopy the address in Google. I use Google Chrome here. And to get the Zillow, 655 Oak Circle, Pleasanton, Zillow. This is Zillow.com, and this is the property page in Zillow. This is all the public information about this property. You'll see 655 Oak Circle, 4-bed, 3-bath. Tell you how much it's worth. Right here it says lot size. You go down further, 0.26 acres. In order to get the square footage and parcel number, you need to select more. Okay, so it has the square footage of the home, 2,500 square feet, and it should have a parcel number. This does not have a parcel number, so we might need to go call the city of Pleasanton and ask them what the parcel number is for this property, 655 Oak Circle, Pleasanton. They will have the exact parcel number of this home. So I typically just take a screenshot of this information, the lot, the floor size, and the parcel number, Control C, and I go into my paint, copy it. It does not need to be cropped. This is just for informational purposes only. I save it as a JPEG again, and this time I call it Zillow Doe. Okay, so these are the JPEGs, file save, and we have just completed all of our JPEGs that we need. Now, finally, we need to copy and paste all of our pertinent data sheets. All of our data sheets for each piece of equipment: the panel, the inverter, the optimizers, the attachment, and rail. Sometimes if you are using a solar edge inverter, they come with optimizers, one per panel, that helps draw the power out more optimally, and so you get the most energy out of your panels. So in any case, these data sheets, I have a full library of data sheets, the modules, inverters, attachments, and rails. It looks like we have the rail data sheet, Unirac. We are using Unirac rail and quick mount. We have the attachments and the rail data sheet already in here, so we need to go get the module LG300 data sheet. So data sheet, the module data sheet. These are all a bunch of solar panel modules. Different brand names. We're using LG, and we're using the LG300. So here's a 300 sheet 1 and sheet 2. Control C. I place that in my Do project folder, and these are now the data sheets for my panel modules, my JPEGs that I will place in the project. Now we are using a Sunny Boy SMA 8000 TL US inverter. So data sheet, I go to my data sheet, I go to inverters. These are a bunch of different inverters that I'm using. I'm using Sunny Boy or SMA. We're using 8000 TL. This is 8000 regular. We need 7700 TL. We need an 8000 TL. So let's see. Is this the 8000 TL sheet? The computer's acting a little slow. I might need to restart. So let me pause it here. Okay, so we're getting the data sheet for the inverter. This is what I found in my library, the 8000 TL data sheet. That's page 2. Page 1 looks like this. 8000 TL-US. That's the model number we want to use. So we will copy and paste over to our project folder. So now we have all the data sheets, the modules, the inverter, the attachments, and the rail data sheet. So we are done setting up our project, and we are done with being online. Now let's say we could not find this 8000 TL data sheet. So let's try and find it online. This is why you need to be online still. So let's just type in SB 8000 TL-US. Sometimes I like to put datasheet at the beginning. That way it pops it up in Google immediately, and there it is. This is a PDF, and there it is. This is the 8000 TL, 6000 TL, 7000 TL, 8000, 9000, 10,000, 11,000. So it has several different inverters covered by this datasheet. 7,000. And there's the 8000 TL. I might even download this, so I'm going to download this to my downloads. So let's see, this is the I think it goes 6,000 to 11,000 TL datasheet. PDF. Turn it into a JPEG. 2 JPEGs, actually it will be 3 JPEGs. So I go to ilovepdf.com. I use this site a lot. I go to the selection. You can merge a PDF, split a PDF, compress a PDF. You can turn a Word document or Excel document into PDF. You can turn a PDF into a Word, Excel document. So we are turning a PDF into a JPEG. So I go to my download. There's my data sheet as a PDF, and convert it to JPEG. I believe I will just need page 1 and page 3 for this project. Here's page 4 showing the 10,000, 11,000 TL. So we're going to get a JPEG for each one of these. And it looks like it's downloaded already, so I go to my downloads. There it is. It's in a zip file format, so I need to extract it. Extract all. I'm just going to extract it to my datasheets folder. Inverters. And this is Sunny Boy. I'm going to start a new SB 6K to 11K TL. I'm going to extract it to that folder. Extract. Okay, so I will need page 3 and page 1 for my dough project. And it looks like a newer version anyway than that older version that I have of this data sheet. So I'm going to delete the older version and replace it with the newer version. So there's my 8000 TL. 8000 TL, 240 volt, and there's also 208 volt if you're three-phase commercial power. This is commercial power, this is a residential power. Okay, so we have all our data sheets now, and I showed you how to search for a data sheet on Google. We are complete with this setup. So in this I have taught you how to create a new folder, download all the data that you need, create a project folder, change all the previous file names, delete all the unnecessary files, copy customer's address. I taught you how to get the screenshot of the vicinity, the roof, and Zillow, and put that also in the project folder. And I've taught you how to copy and paste all the data sheets from either the library that you have, a data sheet library that you have, or how to search for them online. So I've taught you everything in this setup. And the next video will be on actually drafting the project, getting started page by page, drafting the project page by page. We can do this all offline, so you can turn off your internet after completing the setup phase, and now we're into the drafting phase. So page 1, page 2, page 3, all the way to the warning placards, and then we'll do calculations and we will draft the home. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Hope this helps out, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.